to the scene of day number 1 of Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, edition number 26, Ladies' Day. Capped off by a thrilling performance from Zenyatta's friend. Life is Sweet. An outstanding performance in the Ladies' Classic. And before we can move on officially to day number 2, we'll take a look back at day number 1 for the ladies.
Well, it was a terrific day, Ken. I think by any kind of measurement you want to use, an absolutely perfect day weather-wise out here, and the track was fair. Both courses were fair, and there were some impressive winners. And despite the fact that I only cashed 1 ticket on the day, other than that, everything went great.
So it really wasn't all that fair after all, considering you haven't been able to take some money home.
I'm not claiming foul. I got beat on the square. I got beat by some good performances today.
You know, it really, truly has. And, of course, the European representation of midday really made a believer out of me all week long during the work show. She just stood out amongst her rivals, and she ran every bit the part, and a tremendous win. And that, for me, was my moment of the day, as that was the only ticket I've cashed, at least, until tomorrow.
You know, we're going to talk about these great performances throughout the day. We'll recap those in a few moments, but we're not done just yet. We've still got one more race on the card, another chance to make some money with great fields and outstanding value. It's the 40th running of the Las Palmas Handicap, a Grade 2 event worth $200,000. It's over the turf course, and it gets no more competitive than this field here, going a mile, featuring 3-year-olds and upwards. TIZAQUEENA getting all the support early with 15 minutes to post. She is the 7-2 favorite.
Yeah, and she's a filly that chipped in from most recently back at Keeneland, where she ran second behind Diamondrella in the Grade 1 First Lady. An impressive credentials there in terms of class. She'll make her first start over the Santa Anita turf, and I certainly respect her and respect the connections. Michael Stidham, a terrific horseman. I'm going to go to the 10 in here, Nick. Tuscan Evening, and I'm hoping she'll step up with the kind of races she ran here in the summer. Rafael Bejarano is a perfect 2-for-2 aboard her, and she's 2-for-4 over this course, and she's reliable for a big effort. She's got speed. She's going to get a real good trip.
Well, TIZAQUEENA, the race I would have to say stands out in her form was perhaps when she ran second to Pure Clan, who was a game runner-up finisher today, as well as back in the Mint Julep. So a pair of Grade 3 efforts. TIZAQUEENA, now really, for the most part, she has, I think, the best credentials coming in, although for me, gentlemen, I would have to try and look a little harder here at the 2. Captain's Lover. She's coming out of the Grade 1 Beldam. You can draw a line over that conventional dirt. She's one that is proven versus Graded Stakes Company. I think this is her breakthrough moment.
We will find out in 14 minutes. The field getting set for race number 9, the Las Palmas. It wraps up Breeders' Cup day number 1, and it's coming your way right after the break, right here on TVG. Welcome back. We continue with the last race on the card for Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships day number 1. Although it's not officially a Breeders' Cup race, it's part of it, in my opinion. It's the 40th running of the Las Palmas, because I have the power to make that sort of decision. Onto the track we go. 1 mile over the turf course. One thing I know for sure, guys, is we wrap it up with, I think, is a great race, very competitive, and it's ripe and perfect for Superfecta or Super High Five.
Oh, I agree. It's
screaming for it.
It's a full field. You're eligible to get any one of these number of big prices into those exotic plays, and if you get lucky here, you could go home with a nice bankroll for tomorrow.
Let's take a look at your field, and we're going to start with a filly that's rather dangerous with that speed. Bahama Mama, James Cassidy and David Flores at 39-1.
She's done her best running with David aboard, and there's few riders, in my opinion, any better with the speed than David Flores, and she'll get a real good run out of that inside draw here. She's looking for her first win, though. This will be her 8th start over the Santa Anita turf. She's yet to win, but she's run some solid races.
Well, she is 0 for 8 on the year, but I'll tell you, from a physical side of things, she couldn't look much better. Ears forward. You like the attunement there on her behalf. Now here's a runner in Captain's Lover that I think is an outstanding value play, considering the fact that a little over a year ago she had finished 4th to the very talented Paco Boy in the Prix de la Forêt, but she's kind of been an in and out, bit of a tweener type that I think will fit this distance to a T over this course.
Whenever I see these silks, I take a double look. The Glen Hill Farm, one of the most successful in the game, had some of the top horses over the years. Tom Proctor brings this one out from Keeneland, and I think she deserves a big look in here. She's consistent. She was beaten when favored last time out, but that was on the synthetic. She's back on the turf today, and Jose Lezcano gets the call.
Now Cat by the tail, the horse being bet in half off of that 20-1 morning line, coming off of victory, which is more than a number of these can say, but she getting the acid test, winning joining a 3-time other than allowance condition for Hall of Fame trainer Neil Drysdale, Kieran Fallon in the irons.
Yeah, and a perfect 2 for 2 over the course, Nick. The 5, the Brazilian-bred Zardana for John Sheriffs, and John coming off the huge win in the Classic, and this filly coming off Mare coming off a big win over the course.
Now the Argentine Team Geist for Ken McPeak trying to get a win on the day. Several contenders. She also gives a nice impression. Robbie Alvarado, who can say more for what he's done. This one coming off a sharp 3rd place Everton Spinster. Nuska, no disgrace in finishing 2nd in the Ladies Classic.
Bel Air Sizzle is one of those big numbers up on the board. It's coming out of a winning race, and she's been beaten by a number of these she's going to face again today. But she's eligible to get a piece of it. I don't see her really winning, but she could get in the exotics.
And the 8 Meiydan Princess running as an entry last out with Bahama Mama for trainer Jim Cassidy. Hall of Fame rider Mike Smith trying his hand. The regular pilot David Flores, of course, he on the 1. The stablemate Meiydan Princess has always had a lot of ability and hinted at that, but lately she's been off her game.
Another shipper here that deserves a big look. That's Quiet Meadow coming in from the East Coast. Belmont Park last time out, but just missed in the Grade 3 Noble Damsel, and Javier Castellano aboard. Tuscan Evening, this is the local filly that came into town and really impressed right off the plane. She won her first 2 starts here, both of them going 6.5 on the turf, but they stretched her out. She also won long. She's got speed, and she's been perfect with Rafael aboard.
Well, and internally flawless is Garrett Gomez trying to sweep the late double. This may be a better distance for her. She was getting tired even in the victory in the Oaks 2-back. She was on a very moderate pace that particular day. I like her suit here at currently 8-1.
Royal Tat, a long shot, another one that might be better suited going short. She's only tried this distance today one time and didn't fare too well. And she's good in the hands, but she's, I think, up against it. And there's the current favorite, I believe, at 3-1.
Now, she looks every bit the part. You couldn't move out much more fluid than that. TIZAQUEENA for Mike Stidham, coming off a century mark, career best by her speed figure. She's won 50% of her races, 90% in the money to the outside. Exquisite, bred down under. This is a filly that I think has more ability than what that 33-1 price would be. That could be the one to help spark that superfecta we've been talking about.
Race number 9 coming your way very soon, about 7 minutes to post for this event. But before we get to this last live race, let's take you back to where it all began. As far as Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, number 26 are concerned. It was the first of the Breeders' Cup races and the longest and by far the closest. 1 mile and 3/4 for the Breeders' Cup Marathon. Mastery, your 7-5 favorite.
Well, Mastery was the first of the strong contingent of the Godolphin horses to go postward, and I said going into this might maybe kind of give us an idea how the barn might do and how the stable might do. Was sent postward as a 7-5 favorite, coming into this country fresh off a big Grade 1 win in England that did look like the class of the field.
Here it is, the 1 mile and 3/4 Breeders' Cup Marathon.